الله والله والله والله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر الخالق البارئ المصور الغفار القهار الوهاب الرزاق الفتاح العليم القابض الباسط الخافض الرافع المعز المذل السميع البصير الحكم العدل اللطيف الخبير الحليم العظيم الغفور الشكور العلي الكبير الحفيظ المقيت الحسيب الجليل الكريم الرقيب المجيب الواسع الحكيم الودود المجيد الباعث الشهيد الحق الوكيل القوي المتين الولي الحميد المحصي المبدئ المعيد المحيي المميت الحي القيوم الواجد الماجد الواحد الأحد الصمد القادر المقتدر المقدم المؤخر الأول الآخر الظاهر الباطن الوالي المتعالي البر التواب المنتقم العفو الرؤوف مالك الملك ذو الجلال والإكرام المقسط الجامع الغني المغني المانع الضار النافع النور الهادي البديع الباقي الوارث الرشيد الصبور.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربنا زدنا علما ربنا زدنا علما آمين رب العالمين. Today's name, inshallah, we'll be discussing about is As-Samad. As-Samad means the eternal, the satisfier of all needs. As-Samad is the one who is eternal, unaffected, unchanged. He is the one who can satisfy each need in a way that he knows the best, while he is without any needs or wants. He is the one upon who all creation depends on, while he depends on no one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls himself As-Samad, the eternal, the satisfier of all needs, the refuge, the absolute, on one occasion in the Quran, and that is Surah Al-Ikhlas. As-Samad is the unchangeable, the one whom the entire creation depends on. As-Samad comes from the root word Sad, Mim, Dal, which points to two main meanings. The first of them is to reach or attain something, or to aim towards something. The second of them is to turn to or fulfill someone's need. And the third of them, not the main one, but the third of them is to remain unchanged, unaffected. This root appears only once in the Quran as a noun, as-Samad, and which is also again in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Say, He is Allah, the one who is the only one, the eternal refuge. He neither gives a son, or he is neither born, and there is no one equivalent towards him. And this is the only time we can see As-Samad mentioned. How can we live by this name? I'll mention 3 points before I end my segment. Number 1 is to recite and live by Surah Al-Ikhlas. Read Surah Al-Ikhlas often to gain reward. But not only that, we have to learn each word and live by the names mentioned in the surah. Love to recite this surah, like in Salah, and talk about it to others as if you were describing your Lord, which you are. Learn how to correctly recite it and convey it to at least a person who didn't know, or teach your children the history or tafsir of the surah or the virtues of the surah. Number 2, realize your dependence on him. One of the main meanings of Samad is the one who is independent and self-sufficient. If you look at a boss or manager, for example, he has high authority, but there's someone over him. It takes one note from someone higher than him to end his whole career. That person is not a samad. Then we look at what we need to survive. We need air, water, and parents, and so on and so forth. There's so many things. Why do we act like we're independent? Even though during the good times, when we're healthy, wealthy, we tend to forget about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even when we're dependent on samad, like for everything. So remind yourself daily that you are dependent on Him. Last point, call upon Him. There's a supplication mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, Birahmatika Astaghith, Aslih li sha'ni kullah, wa la takilni ila nafsi tarkat ayn. O ever living one, O eternal one, by your mercy I call you to set all my affairs right. Do not place me in charge of my soul even for blinking of an eye, for a moment. So memorize this dua and say it with true desire, and realize your full dependence on a samad. Jazakallahu khairan.
Allah